chapter number 1, verses 6 and 7. These are notable quotables. Wherefore I put in thee in remembrance that thou stir up the gift of God, which is in thee by the putting on of my hands. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. You may be seated. Before I get started, I want to thank Pastor for this opportunity. If you're ever around me long, there are two things you know about me. First thing is, I'd just much rather be a doorman in the house of God than to be standing up here. So when I say I don't take this lightly, I really mean it. The second thing is, even if I'm talking to you a long period of time, I just don't have much to say. I won't be before you long. Last week, God spoke to me while Pastor was preaching. And he started with one thing. He started giving me one thing. And I really didn't want to preach that one anyway. I think it was a rebuke, and I don't want to do that. But what he spoke to me was, my people need to stir up the gift. We're going and we're living on a prophecy that what can be shaken will be shaken. But there's an old movie line that says, shaken but not stirred. That's not a good thing in this case. Because every once in a while we just got to stir up the gift. It is the gift that God has given us. We believe this means speaking in tongues, and we also believe this is a call to intercessors. But I believe that, or I feel like what God has spoken to me is that we need to stir up the other gifts. The gifts of intercession, of wisdom, and of knowledge. These are gifts that God has given us to help us in our life. These are not gifts that we use in attack mode, that we go out to chase after the devil, not meaning that all is well in my soul. There are times when we have to put aside our trials and our tribulation. We can't focus on it and we have to push forward. But there are times when we have to stand and you say, you know what? Yes, I'm going through a trial. Yes, I'm going through a struggle. But you know what? I am still here. God has allowed me to stand. Ephesians 6 and 13 says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Despite what the devil has done, despite the trial, despite the tribulation, my own mistakes, I am still here. God has not given up on me yet. My worship, my tongue talking is not because I'm not under attack. It's not because my life is perfect. It's not because I really have everything that I need. I have Jesus, yes, and in Him I have all that I need. But it doesn't mean that I couldn't use a few other things if I were truthful anyway. But like I said, because God has given me another chance. Why has God given me another chance? Or how has God given me another chance? You see, the second verse in that says, for God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power. Acts 1 and 8 says, but ye shall receive power. After that, the Holy Ghost has come upon you. That word power is interpreted dunamis, dynamite. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of dynamite. It also says, and of love. We've got to love each other no matter what. I understand we get hurt and people hurt us. People do and say things to hurt us. But we've got to remember that Ephesians 6:12 says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. I'm not fighting you. I'm fighting the devil on you sometimes. I'm fighting the devil around us. And the last part of that verse says, and of a sound mind. James 1:8 says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And if you need clarity on that, you need to go back and listen to what Pastor said last week. Thank you. And remember, we've got to stir up